Okay, now I got it. Okay, Chuck, talk.
You hear me?
Chuck, so I can see where
Hello?
you're coming through. Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's definitely not what I want.
Sounds
Hold on.
Okay.
Speaker. All right, say something again, Chuck.
Okay, test.
Yes, you're coming through the TV. Yes. I figured it out.
Okay.
Hi, Chuck.
Oh.
This is for Vito's again. Robin, I was going to cover this one day, Holly and Robin. The Robin is
Waiting for lunch, usually around 1:30. Holly usually comes around 40, but not every day.
okay.
So pretty deep.
Remember, turn on microphones. Talk into the microphones, please. That's very hard to hear when we're trying to tabulate minutes. It's very difficult to hear. So, closer to you, I don't care.
Testing.
Yeah. They were trying to do something with the
Oh, did you want my pen? I'm sorry.
and they ended up talking about. I don't have a pen. You were wrong. That's just, you know, Dad. I called her. Okay. I talked to her today for a minute. And she's gonna send me some information tomorrow.
I just had this computer.
I know.
Yeah, but she's been there so often.
I think they were a discount. The word Dell's up.
A lot longer than she wanted.
Yeah.
I never forget.
She told me that you helped last time. Yeah.
Okay, Chuck, we're ready to start whenever you are.
Okay. At 6 o'clock, I call this finance committee meeting to order. Roll call, Brian.
Keller,
Present.
McCreary,
Present.
Cosgray,
Present.
Also in attendance, we got the mayor, we got the VA, Brian, the fiscal officer, Brian Bibler. Also, I see council member Rick Foreman, Debbie Schaffner, and look like Tammy's there too. All right. Approval of the minutes of November 13, 2023. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes?
Roger makes a motion that we approve the minutes of previous meetings.
McCreary seconds that.
Can we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of November 13th? Do I have any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, roll call.
Cosgray,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Visitors, I can't see in the back of the room. Is there any visitors in there?
well, Mike Crane is, but he's going to be here for the council meeting, so.
Okay. Okay, we'll move on. We'll move on to goals of 2023. Keep spending within the 2023 appropriations. And I think we have, and of course we're winding down to the end of the year. Okay, old business, none. Does anybody have any old business? We'll go into new business. Review the monthly financials. Brian?
Okay. Bank reconciliations for November. We ended up with a bank and book balance of $2,602,474 and a penny. Total receipts 274, last 274,000, almost 275. Payments was 486, 201.64. We did have one other adjusting factor of 104.47. We still have a utility payment that was credit card. The customer used their credit card to pay for the water bill, but there was a glitch in the Muni link and they still haven't fixed it, so I had to carry it over again. So that's still pending. But the other issue I had, that cleared. So they're still working on that.
That's the 104.
The 104.47, yeah. So that's pretty much it for the reconciliation. Outstanding checks last month was 136,536.49. And we had 2 outstanding deposits which was utility bills paid through the credit card system. And that's pretty much it for the reconciliation.
Any of the council members have any questions? Okay, go ahead, Brian, with the listings in.
Okay, payment listing, like I said earlier, we wrote $486,201.64 worth of checks. The big one last month was to the Ohio Treasurer to pay $125,000 to OPWC, and we paid off 4 loans this year. So
That's good.
there was a little quirk in my calculation, but I found a way to pay off 4 loans. Anyway, the one we wanted to pay off, I couldn't pay off, but the one we took out for some reason we took one out for Brown Kumler water line project. I went ahead and paid that off. So
Good.
We paid BK Lair last month $70,310. That was for Mike, correct me if I'm wrong. That was for Granville, right? 70,000 was our share. Yes.
Yeah, that was built
Yes.
for last month. Yeah.
Yeah. So that project's been closed. That was our share of the Granville project was $70,310. And then Spires paving for $39,000. We Monroe Street is not going to get paved this year. It was in the budget. We budgeted for next year. We just carried that over. But in the meantime, we went ahead and paved another street. We found one. What street was that?
Mulberry.
Mulberry. Yeah, we $39,908 for that. So we used some of the money that we budgeted for street paving and shifted gears and paved another street.
Okay.
Brian, what's the Covalent?
Covalent, that's who we get our grinder pumps off of, but that was for how much was it?
3,060.
1114.
Yeah. That's usually where we get our pumps from, grinder pumps, but that was for something else. That is a vendor of ours. What check number was it?
9549.
9549. I can pull that. 9549.
It's probably a pump for one of these, just a pump or two for one of the facilities.
That was for a grinder pump.
For resident or for the.
That was for someplace. For what?
Is it for like our sewer plant or our sewer infrastructure, or was it for like the house?
Residential. We buy grinder pumps, like we own the grinder pump out at school, the athletic facility, Circle K. They pay for them.
Right.
We maintain them. They're on our insurance policy. We also have written yearly maintenance agreement, not maintenance. What do I want to say? like Prince, I just wrote a check for $450 for the school, and it was for some like it's not a maintenance program, but it's a monitoring or not really monitoring either. I can't remember what we use it for.
It's not for a warranty.
It's a warrant. Yeah, it could be a warranty of some type. It's a yearly fee, $150. I write so many checks, I forget.
Sounds like we get 6-year warranty possibly.
Yeah.
For each one.
All right, thank you.
And sometimes we like to keep extras on hand. That's probably what they did. They bought one to have on as inventory in case we need it, put it out in place. But whoever uses it does pay for those. I can't see anything. You got any other questions on the check register?
I don't have any questions, Brian.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions? Okay.
I do not.
Moving on to the metrics for the finance report for November. Star Ohio was $2,502.73. Rita distribution was $71,747 and a penny. Slight decrease from the previous year. However, we are still 20% above last year for the year. Appropriation status. What's the percentage? 11, 12, 92%, something like that. So as you can see, 92%, 92, 93%, somewhere around there. As you can see, all the significant funds, the general street, one, water and sewer below that. Water fund finally caught up with all the OPWC projects. And of course, revenue status for the general fund, we are at or above where we should be.
You said it was 20% of the good on the meter distribution.
Yeah, through November, I can get my mouse over here.
We don't want.
Yeah, I contacted them for a projection for next year. A lot of it has to do with incoming residents. There's a few in this town that make some good money, and so
Okay, so they were already projected out.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I'll share that report with you this week, what their findings are, because I had them do a couple things for us. Any questions on the metrics? And then the last is the appropriations report status, the general fund, or the major funds, I should say. Street lighting, I'm going to have to find some money to pay for this month's street lighting bill, but as I've closing POs, I'll be able to locate some dollars here and there to pay for that.
Does it really go up with us having all these Christmas lights? Does it go up much?
No, we get a separate bill for that.
Oh,
We get a separate. I'll get a separate bill for Christmas lights about April.
okay.
Those are LED now, so they probably only use like 1 or 2 watts per bulb.
I
All of them are?
I believe all of them have been changed now. I haven't seen any old.
no, they what for the Christmas lights or
Yeah, that's
oh
fine.
Christmas lights are probably LED. Yes.
They're all,
Okay.
they use very good. In the street over the house where I'm monitoring, they use 4 watts. So that's like.
Well, Brian,
I-
they're not on a meter, so you just pay, for the amount of time they're on until they take them down, right?
They got their no Chuck. They got their own meter.
Oh, do they? Oh, okay.
They all report to one meter. That's
Okay.
how I can identify it when we get a separate bill.
Well, good. I didn't. Okay.
Regarding street lighting, though, I ever since I was signing an agreement with AEP, I noticed it has stabilized. So, hopefully, the budget that I have for next year is more than enough to take care of it.
Okay.
Street funds at 75%, water fund 88%. Like I said, water fund finally caught up with the Granville project. That's been completed. It's finalized. Received the paperwork last week, finalized the Brown Coomer paving project too. So that'll be going out the door probably tomorrow. Sewer's doing really good. And of course, pool operations still 50%, but again, all we're paying right now this time of year is electricity and phone bill. And we're at 64% of all funds. So
Well, that sounds great, you know. Anybody have any questions for the monthly financials?
No, looks good to me.
Do I hear a motion to take it to the council, approve the finance?
Congress makes a motion and we approve the report, send them to council for approval.
In McCreary, second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call, Brian.
Cosgray,
Yes.
McCreary.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, on new business, ordinance 2023-30, the temporary appropriation budget. I know we had first reading last meeting. Did you change it or something?
We've had two readings on the budget itself. That was the permanent one, but there's too many variables, Chuck, that's still open that I don't know what's going to happen yet regarding the police department. We did finalize the insurance, so that was taken care of last week. I'm still waiting on a few estimates on a couple things. I gotta add. I guess got to make more changes to the budget itself. I want to look at some other numbers to see make sure I have enough. So in the meantime, what I'm doing is I would like someone to table the
That's what I
ordinance.
was going to say. Table the permanent budget and then pass the temporary budget tonight.
Yes,
Is that
pass
what
this
you're saying?
temporary budget.
Okay.
Yeah, this temporary budget it'll get us through the first 3 months of the year. I went through and scrutinized some of the lines to make sure we're going to have enough, like debt payments. I know we have one coming up in February. We have one in January for truck loans. I made sure I budgeted enough to cover those expenses. Everything else just to get us through the first 2 to 3 months until we can hash out the final budget.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
I know
Sure.
Wade is on the permanent budget ordinance, so if he would, he can table that ordinance, and I need somebody to sponsor the temporary budget night. Randy or Wade, I can't do it, so.
Sure, I can sponsor the temporary budget this evening.
Okay, thanks.
I don't see emergency language,
It doesn't need to be.
so we'll go through 3 readings.
I don't think it needs emergency language. It needs to be passed tonight. Otherwise, you need to have scheduled the meeting between now and January 1st.
So
It
does go through.
I don't think Jeff can answer that, but I think this is one of those pieces of legislation that doesn't need emergency language.
Well,
It can be passed.
It can be
Yeah,
passed without
appropriation.
3 readings.
Yeah, appropriation, usually you don't have to have emergency reading,
Mm.
but like you say, you can ask Jeff. So, okay, thanks, Randy.
No problem.
So
Anybody have any questions?
Debbie does. I'm sure you're taking care of this, but I would be remiss if I didn't ask you, and the budget has been adjusted for the change in our income from Pleasantville.
yes, I want to make sure I'm square on that. With Pleasantville coming off, I got to look at the revenues again. With the information I got from Rita, I'm going to reevaluate income tax next year. I still got questions with the police department on what staffing levels they're going to have and whether or not some people are taking insurance. They're just Washington Street, we've let that out for bid. That's supposed to start anytime soon now. But yet it didn't include paving, so I don't know what the cost estimates is to pave it. I don't think they want to wait until the following year to have that road paved. So there's that. What else is there? There's just other odds and ends that needs to be tidied up. And with the new administration coming in, they may have some input. So I just feel best to table the one ordinance and pass this as an emergency tonight. I asked that because January 1, I don't have a budget in place. I can't pay bills. I can't write checks for payroll. I can't do anything. So
We got a temporary budget passed.
Okay, anybody have any questions to Brian? Anybody have any question for the finance committee?
So McCreary's going to sponsor. Don't we need to?
Yeah, we need a
Pass it.
motion, yeah, we need a motion to pass it, so if one of you two would make a motion.
You're making a motion to pass the temporary ordinance. I'll second the motion.
Yes.
In a second?
I got it.
Wayne.
Okay, motion was made in second to take the temporary budget to the committee, to the council meeting tonight, which is 3 months. That's what temporary budget, can't be any more than 3 months. So do roll call, please.
McCreary,
Yes.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. If nobody has anything else for finance, the next meeting will be January 8th at 6 o'clock, unless under the new reorganization meeting, they have to change it. As of now, the next finance meeting will be January 8th, 6 o'clock. The meeting's adjourned.
On the goals.
Foreman,
Yeah.
Schaffner, Litz,
Also in attendance, Mayor Darla Reedy, Administrator Brian Holbrook, Principal Officer Brian Bidler, and council members Brandon McCreary and Wade Cosgray. We have a couple of visitors in the room, Gar Phillips and I believe Mr. Crane, is it? Yes. Okay.
Chuck's on Zoom.
Oh, and Chuck is on Zoom. Chuck Keller is on Zoom. Do the visitors have anything to say to the rules committee? Okay. Goals to finalize the VA description. We tabled that.
Approval minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I do this? Approval again.
I will make Schaffner moves to approve the, minutes from November 13th as written.
Oh. Am I able to second that?
Yeah, you can second it.
1 second.
Schaffner. Yes or yay or nay? Foreman.
Yes. Okay, so moving on. The goals we were discussing, the finalization of the VA job description. We tabled that. I guess under the circumstances, I think we should probably just leave it tabled for the time being.
Well, I have some questions.
Okay.
And
Sure.
some suggestions. So where did this come, I have found this on my.
Yeah, I laid
Did
that
you
up for,
develop that or did you?
that was my development.
That was your, okay.
Yeah, has to do with alleys.
Okay, I'm just gonna make one comment about this. Is that okay?
Yeah, it's kind of also the next thing too, so we're kind of.
Oh, I thought that's what we were talking about.
We were talking about the village.
Oh, the village admin, I'm sorry.
And that was the goals and we tabled it. I made the suggestion that we leave it tabled in the current
Yes,
circumstances.
I agree.
And so then we'd be moving on to old business, where we were discussing alleys, which a document appeared before all of us tonight regarding alleys. And so it's kind of new to all of us. And it suggests that we are going to maintain alleys, which when necessary, I believe we have. And whether we put in place some sort of regular maintenance or whether we just maintain as needed. But again, we tabled that, and unless we're willing to take any action on it here tonight, I would suggest that we leave it tabled.
Okay, well, this is the one I want to make a comment about. So, improved alleys under definitions are those that have been maintained for utility maintenance and residential access. There are alleys that are not improved that do have residential access. So, I think that we can't just say that the improved ones are the only ones that we maintain.
I think when it says improved, I think it's making this distinction between an alley is on the plat map that is mowed and grows grass,
Well,
and an alley is on the plat map that has traffic.
the policy actually says the village will provide maintenance for improved alleys as long as they are necessary to provide utilities, access for residential parking and garages. What I'm saying is there are unimproved alleys that have residential parking and garages as well. So
I apologize. I didn't break this out very well
Okay.
for you.
that's the only comment. And the other thing, as far as what to do with it right now is I do know that the mayor-elect has interest in this policy. So I think that, at this point, of course, he'll be in next meeting anyway, but this is something that I know he wants to have. So we can.
I'll break out the definitions a little better, because what I was trying to do there was indicate two types of alleys, improved and unimproved. Improved being those alleys that are maintained for utility and residential access. Unimproved being those that are not.
It's never been established as an alley.
Exactly.
It doesn't visibly exist. It only exists on that.
And there were several of those.
There are a lot of them. One used to
Well,
run
we've looked
beside
at the
my
map,
house
okay.
and they abandoned.
So I'll break that out a little better so it's a little easier to speak.
I just don't want to say we will only improve or only maintain the improved ones if we have unimproved ones that have residential access.
Understood.
Okay, any new business for the rules committee?
Can we go to
Yeah.
urban hunting?
It's not on the agenda. Okay.
That's new
I thought
bit-
that was safety.
Oh,
Urban hunting, I thought came out of safety.
Well, it's also rules. It's also
It's
rules.
moved the rules because of the changes in the application.
No.
It's not on the agenda. It's the only thing.
Well, it could be because it's not on the agenda, but it could be considered new.
That's fine. I was just following the agenda and it wasn't on there, so. But yeah, absolutely. It'd be new business then. Urban hunting.
okay. I did pass out a draft. I was hoping Mr. Faco would be here in time because we did have an exchange of information this afternoon. What I tried to do is capture on the new draft a couple of things. And I'll go down his list. First was to eliminate the review involvement of BZA. The second being that the police department and the VA shall review the applications and determine whether the application should be granted or denied. And he went on to talk about ordinance shall supersede other village ordinances which may be in conflict. And here we're talking about the firearms ordinance, which I passed out, I think, at the last meeting for everyone. And his understanding, of course, I wasn't involved in that, but his understanding was that was the original intent of the ordinance, was to not regulate it to just bow hunting, but to allow for both. And this does not reflect that language as far as
Either.
working around, I should say, there's probably a better way to say it, the ordinance for firearms.
So this would supersede the ban on discharging of any projectile in the village.
Yes, Mr. Faco is much better at the wording on those types of things, but it would be, it would allow for that. And that would not be, in his words, if they wouldn't have competing or opposing ordinances, it would
Because the language
reflect that it
is
was.
going to reflect that it supersedes the previous ordinance.
Right.
Okay.
Can I throw something out to you?
Sure.
I talked to the Pickerton Police Chief's assistant today, Tracy, and I asked her what they do, and she said they just have a permit, and nobody can discharge without the permission of the chief of police. That's how they supersede their other no dischargeable weapons in the city. And, written permission from the landowner, and then they send an officer out to evaluate the permit. Because they have both gun and Pickerton, if you can believe it.
Yeah. I can believe that. I don't think that's an undoable situation for us.
They encourage it to thin the herd to some of them.
Exactly.
They have special events where they have to get rid of some of these deer because it's dangerous.
And that's what you're leaning toward.
Yes.
As long as both of you guys agree, that's kind of what you're leaning.
Well, yeah, but I think the idea of having these rules, and as Mr. Faco mentioned, this was Appendix A to the original ordinance.
Right.
It could be amended and still fall under the original ordinance. But as long as there are steps here laid out that whoever and I can follow, we know exactly.
So was the implementation process part of the ordinance when we passed it, or was that added after we passed it?
No, it was attached to,
It was.
yeah, what you see here as a draft is a variation of the original Exhibit A.
Okay.
And I think I brought that to a meeting a few meetings ago.
It doesn't have to go through the whole process again to check.
That would be a question from Mr. Faco, but I believe that's what he said.
That was what I was hearing last time.
Yes, sir.
But I didn't get clarification.
Yes.
Any discussion from council regarding these changes to our urban hunting?
I have a question. This morning, I apologize in advance if it's a stupid question, but number one, shall apply only properties annexed to the village or properties to be annexed. So we are saying that they have to be at the perimeter of the village, correct? Or no?
I think further down, it says that if it's already haven't been hunted on, then it also would qualify.
Well, I guess I'm getting thrown by the term annex. Like, if my property if I had 5 acres, would it be I'm in the village? Or is it properties?
And I believe the only property we've talked about so far is in the village. It's not an annex.
Yeah, the other
situation.
property was even discussed recently was the Doomy property
Yes.
that's already in the village.
Yes, sir.
And so that's where the throwing the annexation in there muddies the waters.
That was the original
I
discussion
think your part
months
about
ago.
annexation doesn't really need to be in here. We're doing it in part to appease people who are considering annexing and are reluctant because they want to continue to hunt on their farm.
Okay, that's what's throwing me.
Yeah,
It
so
makes
I
it
don't know
sound
that it
like-
really needs to be in here
It makes it
because
sound like it has to be annexed right within the core.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty easy fix.
I mean, if my property's annexed, I'm in,
right.
you're in. So if properties annexed to the village would be your property, my property, which is the village.
The way this reads, it's like an annexation
Or to
condition.
be.
Well, I wasn't present, but it sounded to me like that's when this whole thing started.
It is,
It is.
Right.
but we don't want this ordinance to reflect that because that isn't what it's about.
That's no problem.
It is, but it isn't. Like the Doobie property, it isn't about annexation because there are.
Then it should read the urban hunting program shall apply to properties within the village of Baltimore.
Yes,
That's why.
we don't need to. We're doing. We get
Or-
to please people considering annexing, but we don't
Or
want to exclude the
properties
Doobie property.
considering being annexed to the village.
See, I kind of disagree. I think properties to be annexed, they know if I'm gonna annex it in, things apply to me.
Well, that's what I just said. I
Yeah.
said, or properties in the village, already in the village, or properties to considering being annexed to the village.
Yeah.
We can break it out into
Yeah.
two sentences.
Right.
It's no problem.
Subtle
change
to the
Just subtle change in language because it sounds like it's
Well, you know,
annexing properties only.
Yeah, I mean, it does.
So what's okay?
Thank you. And I'll continue to make changes, and I'll be talking with Mr. Faco and with the chief.
We can clarify whether or not we need to go back through the process for this to make these changes to them and then we'll figure out.
Sure.
Any further discussion?
There's one more.
Our next meeting will be held on the second Monday of January, the 8th at approximately 6:30 or immediately following the finance committee meeting.
I think we need to talk about this. The water service and the.
The water service, I think, was taken care of.
Okay,
We discussed that at last meeting, if I recall, about whether or not they service on one property, even though there might be two structures or dwellings. And that was
okay.
put into effect at the last meeting.
And then garbage disposal.
This is a new topic that has to do with multiple dwelling units. And basically it says that if there is a dwelling of more than one unit, or I'm sorry, more than 3 units, we did say something about 2, more than 2. So looking for a little guidance on that.
Well, more than 2 would be.
More than 2?
I think more than 2 because I can't see the need for a twin unit to need a dumpster.
Yeah, so more than 2.
And this will apply to all units that have 2 or more occupants, whether it's commercial or residential, or.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to clarify. I referenced dwellings. Dwellings.
That would deal with the water bill more than anything.
Right. So, I mean, most of your commercial buildings, your office buildings and things that have multiple units already have dumpsters.
Most.
Yeah, most.
But they're
So
not required yet. Unless
not that I'm aware of. I haven't seen an ordinance that requires that.
And are we requiring an enclosure like fence? Most municipalities require a dumpster enclosure.
Right. Some type of a.
So now we're not just saying you need a dumpster, but you also need to screen it from view.
Well,
Why is that?
Most municipalities just don't want the dumpster out where everybody can see it. So I guess that's something we should consider. Are we going to add that to this? I believe commercial requires it now, although many, in fact, most don't have it. I don't even have it.
Right.
Requirement.
And neither do we as a village. We don't have it.
And Shetlands don't have it. Most don't have it. I'm just proposing that. I have it at all my other locations because it's required.
You've got a good point, though, because if we do require a dumpster at this specific location we're talking about, then the next issue will be, why isn't it enclosed enough? Because I'm sure it won't look as good as your dumpster or anybody else's.
And I'm not suggesting that we have to add that. I'm just thinking that should be discussed along with, because we're going to be adding all these dumpsters and we're going to require it to at least abide by it.
I understand.
What's everybody think?
Yeah.
Knowing some of the properties, I think, where it's positioned, that definitely could impact curbside appeal in the neighborhood. And
Yeah,
access
put
to
dumpster
kids.
enclosure on the curbside, it's going to have to be the required distance away from.
Yeah,
the right of way.
and they have to have access to it when they come to dump it, so.
Yeah.
Where,
I think some deeper findings.
yeah, because I'm thinking of some of the properties where they would place it.
I don't know. There's a couple of properties. There's not anywhere to place it behind the properties. Over there by the high school where all those apartment buildings are, they all have trash cans.
Yeah, and we really don't want those heavy trash trucks going down most of the alleys. In fact, the one there by me, we should probably make no trucks. My road with no trucks already. A trash truck is the eastern portion of that road every week, and we shouldn't allow it because it's destroying the road.
Well, we just put a no trucks.
It's not on that one yet.
But we can though, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we should.
All right.
But it's because they service that dumpster in the rear.
Can they get to it otherwise?
Well, there's plenty of opportunity for them to be able to get to it otherwise, but as it's configured now.
Okay.
The one
We'll talk
that's
more about it. I don't want to get sidetracked.
Yeah.
off Washington, they could access it that alley there.
Washington
So-
Street runs right by between the two properties.
And there's
We're only
an
talking about the
alley
one
that's
on-
behind Traffic Farmers property there that runs.
It'd be hard to get a trash truck back in.
They could back in there though. I don't see where else you would put a dumpster in that.
Yeah.
On that
I think on
corner
many
property.
properties it'd be a bump.
And then you're thinking about adding a sensor.
Well,
Right.
hold on,
Limits
because
the way they can pick it up and.
there are, maybe it's just me, but I'm going with the regular full-size dumpster where you have the dumpster truck come in with the forks and pick them up. If that's not what they need to be, they could be the smaller ones that the regular packer truck backs up to and then dumps it into the truck with a pulley, a cable. So let me talk to the folks at Rumpke a little more, see if they've got an answer for it.
Doing it in conjunction with their capability.
Right, so much is on.
Because their accessibility, will put that in.
If one guy would pick up this trash or make sure that it is picked up, it wouldn't be a problem. Thank you.
So are we adding these then as old business then, I guess?
Yeah,
Sorry.
The next meeting's agenda?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Start out one more time. Anything else in the rules committee tonight?
Thank you.
Again, our next meeting is the second Monday in January, January 8th at 6:30, or immediately following the finance committee. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
Shall have those to adjourn.
Mhm.
Second.
Right. Last item down, consent, aye. Done.
Bar and Rick. Either of you signed the Peter's new.
Not the new ones. I'm
And I'm going to
Yeah.
stop video for now.
Well, signature got declined.
Signature got declined on the last one.
And I will mute this just in case.
We're gonna open the meeting with asking God to bless the area. And have
Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
And now,
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
thank you.
Cosgray,
Present.
Foreman,
Present.
Keller,
Present.
Litz,
Present.
McCreary,
Present.
Schaffner.
And I need the approval of the minutes of the November 27th, 23 meeting, please.
Foreman makes a motion, we approve the minutes as written.
And a second.
Schaffner said.
Roll call, please. Up, discussion. Roll call, please.
Foreman,
Yes.
Schaffner, Litz,
Yes.
Cosgray,
Yes.
and McCreary.
Yes.
And we need the approval of the agenda.
Did we need to amend the agenda to allow for the temporary budget?
It's already.
No, it's already.
That's okay.
And the Foreman makes a motion, we approve the agenda as written.
McCreary seconds.
Discussion. Roll call.
Foreman,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Schaffner.
See, we have a lot of visitors tonight, and you all are next. I want to let you know, I'm Donna Reedy, I'm the mayor. I want you to know we got a 5-minute rule on each topic, so I would suggest that you have a spokesperson, if you have several of you here for one topic. Does that make sense? Gotcha. Who would like to go first?
Well, here's the sign-in sheet.
Oh, silent speak. Ooh, that's even better.
You send it?
You want to speak to the council?
Did you send it?
Mr. Phillips, you're next on the agenda. Oh, you don't want to speak anymore. Mr. Ellis,
No, I'm just here.
Mayor to be. Julia Noah.
We're together.
Okay. All right, ladies.
Very good. All right, you may or may not be aware, well, first I should introduce myself. I'm Catherine Shannon with the Baltimore Downtown Renovation Committee. But I'm not here necessarily in that capacity. I'm here as a Baltimore girl. To talk about some dates coming up that it's an opportunity for the town to celebrate our bicentennial. So I think I think that it's not so much one committee doing it. I think it needs to be a village-wide effort. Julia, you want to talk a little bit about what was happening 200 years ago in this town?
Sure. So, as many of you know, with the Baltimore history, I'm Julia Miller with the museum. There's really hard to pick a date because we are 3 towns that have incorporated over the years. But if you really look at 1825, that was a key date for us because Boswell was laid out. Baltimore was or Newmarket at the time where we're at was Newmarket. Was laid out that year, and Romeside was also laid out. So all 3 towns put it down on paper what their names were going to be. If you wait to when Baltimore was actually formed, you still have Baltimore and Basel. And as we have learned, this town really has a deep root in its history. Basel doesn't want to lose its side. Baltimore doesn't want to lose its side. Even us on Romeside still remember our side on that. So we really think 1825 is an important date because all 3 towns have a stake that they put in the ground that year that said we are here. And we think that's a good time to celebrate a bicentennial.
All right, well. So, I think we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I think we can dovetail this with festivals. Carrie's here. And museum, and
I'm on the board museum. And
Carrie's
I'm
done a lot of stuff. So she's here on a lot of different capacities, but, I think we can make it the theme of the festival. That's their choice. But also have extra things. I think there's a lot of people that didn't grow up in Baltimore that don't know the history. A lot of people didn't pay attention in history class. Yeah. So I think it's a good opportunity to teach people what a historic town this is and what's happened in 200 years. So I guess what I would like to do is form a group or a committee, whatever you want to call it, of representative people, business people, groups that we have in town, just a representative group, come up with something that everybody's as much as possible happy with, and come up with some things to do. Or not necessarily things to do, but things to commemorate. Like I said, we'll do it with the festival, but I think there are things that we can have that will let people know that this is a canal town, it's bicentennial community. So I think from the council, I would like 1, your support, 2, your input, and yes.
They've already approached me to ask if I would be involved, and I had agreed to serve on the committee on behalf of council. I think really what they need more than anything, not more than anything, but just the council's blessing, and there may be expenses incurred. But I think, I've kind of been thinking this over, how that would work. I guess it would be committee comes back to council if they need expenses for anything, and ask for a specific amount of money for a specific events or whatever they want. When this will be in 2025, so it'll be throughout next year.
And if I may add, my understanding is, are you also seeking some type of resolution being drafted? I mean, if we're looking at specifically naming this commemorating a bicentennial for the village, that would probably require some type of resolution. Assuming, which is, yes. Is that true, Mr. Baker? Is this something that we would need to pass a resolution?
Could, yeah, it sounds like there's no rush timing wise. I was just mentioning to the mayor, it sounds like what they're asking for is the creation of an advisory or ad hoc committee.
Yeah.
So you just have to decide who to appoint to that committee, how many committee members, and let them meet and report back to council as things progress and come up with ideas and sort of thing. So, but good to start early.
Instant times.
Okay, we appreciate it, and I think we'll probably add this as another committee for us to listen to on a council night, and you guys can get together, and Debbie, I'm okay with that. The next mayor will have something to say.
Okay.
100% we want to be a part of it.
Yeah, the mayor-elect may want to actually be in charge of creating that committee and nominating people.
Terry has my information, just get home. We definitely, I would think we'd all
Put it on the agenda.
Yeah, if you take a minute and look at the Baltimore history and see what we're talking about, the different dates. So when people write on Facebook, but it's 1824, no, it's 1833, no, it's 1947, they kind of know what we're talking about. It's kind of complicated.
Yeah, my understanding is, okay, just give it. that Basel was annexed to New Market in 1825, correct?
No, Basel was annexed in 1947, but people don't want to celebrate that because that's when Basel became Baltimore.
I'm a Basel.
So there's actually people walking around and remember that, and so stuff like that. But 1825 is when the canal came through. New Market became a town. Basel became a town.
So this is something that can be discussed with the committee and come up with a date.
Yeah. So that's. I guess I just want you to be aware that it's something to argue about. If you have a,
Thank you for bringing it to the council.
Thank you, ladies. The next person I have out here is Nicole Guard.
Yeah, hey, I am executive director of a nonprofit called the Eli Effect. It was started in honor of my kiddo who passed away, who was in a wheelchair. Also in the gifted class in school. So finding special needs things for him to do were kind of tricky, right? Because he was didn't have the cognitive piece but the physical piece. One thing he loved to do was go to the park, swing in the park, all the things. So we put our nonprofit put a post up asking for people to nominate parks that had certain criteria, and the Eli Effect, the money we've raised would donate a handicap accessible swing. And so Johnson Park was chosen, and I've been talking to Brian and Miss Nikki nominated your park, and so we are going to give you guys a handicap accessible swing, and we are so thankful that you were accepting of that. And I just think
We appreciate it.
Good Friday.
yes, Friday we'll actually put the swing up. Yeah. Yeah. So thank you for letting us come.
The Eli Effect, is that with an E or an
The Eli Effect, yeah. Yeah.
A? Eli Effect, is that with an E or an A?
Just like on the shirt.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, the E-team. Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Coming in.
Yes, thanks, Ryan.
Appreciate it. See ya. Thank you.
Happy to have you
Thank
on
you.
here next. But you've already spoken, correct?
Yes.
And Carrie,
Yeah.
Mr. Coughlin, you don't want to speak? Betsy Alt.
Hi. Yeah, I'll speak. I just have a few questions for you all. We own property north on 158, and we have a 35-acre plot. If you know where the slaughterhouse is, we're right there. We've heard pretty firm rumors that the town intends to annex north of that, Jim Keller's property.
Okay.
Which joins our property.
Okay.
And what we've been told is the town plans to run sewer and water through Alt Park to Jim Keller's, thereby bypassing our property. Is any of this true?
The particulars have not been met yet.
Well, I'm just here to say that we want to stay agricultural. We have already applied for, not the exact term, agricultural district status for our farm. So we would really, really not want to be annexed if at all possible. And that's all I had to say.
Okay.
All right. Thank you all so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anyone else in the peanut gallery want to speak? Them to go first?
Yeah, they're visitors, so.
Please.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm finding an easel for you, so if we can use a chair or something. I know Brian's gonna put it up on.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get my mouse over here.
The laser pointer would get. You probably thin out some of these chairs, guys.
Everything that's up to date is on this.
Well, I'm gonna, I think, Brian,
You'll be there
I'm
Friday.
gonna put something up on the screen that he told me. If it doesn't work, I'll put it up there.
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that good? Does that work?
Hello.
That's too much up, right?
No.
Oh. Well, it's just enough. It's different plan.
Yeah, maybe we can make sure.
You want me to use the jump drive?
Each one of these is a packet?
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
All right. Well, yeah.
couple guys back there that probably use them.
We'll share here.
Okay.
Variation, but it's pretty similar. Yeah.
Which file is this? Which file is this?
John.
Which one is it? That's.
Which one you got?
Is this it?
Oh, where's the heck?
That it?
No, this is it. Where's? Just go to the what the heck?
I just plugged this in, and I plugged it in here, and this is what popped up. Should I just use the one I had before?
Well, that's what we're going to have to do, but there's nothing on that thing. Can you go back one or whatever? Scan disk. Let's go to the USB drive there. The one up right above it. There. Holy moly, where the heck did it go? Well, that's just the junk that comes with it.
What's the next tab?
Yeah.
That's what I had up there from the scan folder.
Yeah, that's
2023,
But
1211.
you know, see my mouse here.
Didn't somehow it didn't.
That's instructions.
Yeah, that's something that was on.
I had to plug it into this.
That's yours. That's yours.
Well, yeah, but it's been updated.
Yeah.
But we can use that.
Yeah.
Don't have it. Did you have anything else on there that needed?
No.
Just try to push.
Same things I printed out here. The same stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. That's up there.
Okay. Move it out here.
Good. All right. Are good.
Members of Baltimore, my name is Jim Watkins. I'm the owner of Lockcon Consulting Engineers. My firm recently got bought out for a bigger firm, so I'm pretty happy. Got my early Christmas gift. So I love working at small towns. I've been working with Mike Crane for about a year and a half now on this project. And we love the idea of the small field pioneering projects. Working with good people in town, and I think we got a good land plan I want to present to you. Kind of kick the tires and kind of see what's the mood, what's the temperature. We met a couple times with the village, met with the water and sewer folks, met with Fairfield County engineers last week to talk about access and whatnot. Been working with my environmental engineers and to kind of figure out what kind of streams and wetlands that we may have on the site. Beautiful site. And so what we're trying to do here, when we first start out with development, you got to be careful as far as what's the off-site cost is going to contribute to this development. So before I get into the particulars, we got to get an idea. How do we route the actual water lines to this development? How do we route the sanitary sewer lines to this development? And what's the overall associated cost with that? Also, we got to look at the component. Road widenings on Batesville Road. That's also the component that explains how we go about doing our yield, how many lots that we have. What I've done some calculations and kicked around some numbers, and this is going to be a fairly pretty good significant cost, okay, to do this, but we still like the area. We're looking at probably around somewhere north of 1.4 million dollars just to get the infrastructure to this site. Which leads us to believe that I think with a good land plan, with the number of lots that we're shooting for is about 100, I believe, Sean, 178 lots for this development. There's a little history to this development. Back in 1977, this was recorded as Sleepy Hollow. Okay, I can't recall how many lots that we had at that time, but we want to reignite that development, but have a better land plan for this development. Apologize. I have in the audience Dave Dozier. He represents DR Horton. He's one of the developers. He's interested in doing the development out here. And I also got Andrew Dyer. He's one of the land acquisition guys for DR Horton. They're a public company, one of the biggest in the nations. They're very sophisticated, know what they're doing. Not a fly-by-night kind of group of guys. I've been working with them for, I started my company 20-some years ago, 24, 25 years ago. Very good, reputable company to build homes. All my life, my father's been in the business for about 40 to 50 years, and these are good guys to deal with. So, you know, we want to present this, kind of get an idea. It's got a lot of terrain, a lot of relief, a lot of streams on it, some trees in the back, and want to see what's the mood of this. We're looking at, it's kind of somewhat landlocked, so we're looking at one entrance, but that entrance will be up north there, which I brought my pointer with me, on the north side of Ballsville Road. But we're thinking about having a boulevard entrance. Typically, ideally, we're looking at possibly an emergency access, but we have to consider what the Fairfield County engineers have to say about that. But we can combine an emergency access with a wider boulevard. There. So yeah, feel free to speak up. You know, we're just trying to see what we got. We like to incorporate. I'm working with Mike Crane from V3. Incorporate some design standards. We're shooting for a rezoning on this, a planned unit development, and anything creative that we come up with will be locked in with the land plan and also a limitation text. So this is kind of your opportunity to kind of, you know, see what you guys have to say about this land plan, and we're trying to accommodate or explain why we did things the way we did them, and we'll just go from there. So I just want to, you know, present this as an informal meeting, just to kind of get an idea where we're coming from as we want to approach the next step in the rezoning process.
Okay, how is this zoned now?
It's zone R3, single family.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yes.
And you're going to need it to be what?
This is going to be rezoned to a planned unit development. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple questions. What's the average size of a dwelling?
So yes, we're looking at 40-foot lots, 40 by 125 feet, which is about 5,000 square foot lots. We're thinking about a 25-foot front setback, 25-foot rear yard setback with 5-foot side yard easements. We do have some elevations here, I believe, Sean.
They're all past that.
Okay. Some front elevation views of homes that would fit on these particular lots.
And these are just a few of the style of homes that we will be building. This, we're still very early on. This will probably take what, 12 to 18 months to get through everybody. All of the offsite easements, engineering, zoning,
But these are just a few of the 40-foot elevations that we will be building. Price range probably 350 to 450. Square footages 14 to 2,600 square feet. Anything else? I mean, do you have any statistics on a project like this? On average, how many children per household? And maybe two as an average, yeah. Just the minute people hear it talk about the first thing they say, right. I'm just curious if you have statistics on in the modern age in this price range, what's the average children on an average? Okay.
These are all single family homes, right?
Single family.
Total acreage is over 68 acres. 178 lots. That comes out to like 2.6 units per acre. The corner orange in the northeast corner of the site plan, we really don't know what we want to do with that yet because it's going to be very expensive to develop, to force that development there yet. To force it to the west, to Basil Road, because we have to cross the stream with the floodplain, and it's a beautiful piece of ground. But maybe we thinking about, somehow rezoning it to a later use, but we're thinking about having a different access to that point because it would be very expensive to put a bridge. We're looking at a bridge, where we get to that future 10-acre piece of ground on the northeast corner. So 68 acres, 2.6 units per acre, which is got a lot of open space. How many acres of open space? About
23.9 acres, about 35% if you factor out that piece in the orange right there, which is it's developable ground. That's why we piece that off. Like it's can be used for something. It's difficult for us to get it.
You have that Google Maps photo?
Yeah. Well,
whatever it is.
That's our side, right? This is
if you want to show council, you can see off to the east of that is where the mill is.
That's the part that you're going to develop.
No, this
That's
is the
that
bottom.
That's that corner.
When utilities come into the site, which is probably this is just going to show how long it takes to.
Just wanted to give them an orientation of the lagoon from over across the way and the railroad tracks.
Okay.
This has been in the works a long time. I know Scott, it's been, I think he bought it in the early 2000s. The roads were private, but yet nothing's been done. So we finally got with him, got a contract, and we're slowly progressing. We want to get the, see what Baltimore thinks of this. Are you in support of it? What are the pros, cons of it? Just coming for feedback before we start the annexation, or not the annexation, the rezoning, PUD, right, which would probably happen next month.
I think it's a great thing. I think we need to make sure that the school system knows that this is possibly coming down the road, so they know. In a few weeks, I'm going to be a council member again, so that would be my opinion on the council. And other council people.
I'm generally favorable.
I'm in favor of it. Just I have concerns about our wastewater treatment plant capacity. Bringing on board 178 new homes. As far as the water distribution system, I don't really think that's going to be a problem.
I think, to be fair, there's concerns on both ends.
Is there?
Yes. And we are meeting tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock to discuss some of those issues. So,
and the project we're starting right now definitely is a step in the direction that can favor this.
Yes. And we need to build on those projects and do more of that.
Mr. Mayor-elect,
You know, I think my biggest concern out of everything I just heard was, I really feel like we gotta get schools involved, because if there's 200 or 300 kids, we only got 500 kids at our high school. I mean, we just gotta make sure that we can accommodate that. I mean, I think the sewer and all that stuff, I think we're capable of all that. I just, we just got to get down to the brass tacks. Who's going to pay to widen the road and all that kind of stuff. That's some stuff we'd be interested in. So, and that's what, I know the county, this is some of the most valuable farmland in the whole state of Ohio, as far as I'm concerned. And, I know what the commissioners all there, they want us to do this, and that I feel like I speak for some of the people in this room. We'd rather see houses and warehouses, that's for sure. So, yeah, I mean, I think we got some things to do, but I mean, I'm going to be I'm not the mayor, I'm just a citizen, but I live right around the corner from this. This all sounds fantastic.
Thank you.
I feel like we'd be doing the right thing, but I just feel like we've got to really work with the school and some of the other things to figure it all out. But that's,
we'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
Gar, do you have anything to say? Council member to be?
Who's going to buy these homes? Why? Are they going to come out the Baltimore to buy these homes? I'm just asking.
Well, I think I don't want to be. I think they'll be lined up to buy, in my opinion. I just feel like at that price range, I feel like in new houses, I don't know. For people that grew up here, it's going to be a fine line to walk. You go around telling people, hey, we're going to put 178 houses on this farm road. You know what I mean? So we just got to do everything the right way, so it's good for the people and good for obviously the investor and the people who are doing it. I think they'd sell every one of them. I know my daughter paid for a house that's 1,600 square foot right in the center of town, and it was about what this is, and it's not a new house, and there's no lot really to it like these are. So
these are not. My only concern is the lot size, and because it comes out to like about acres. It just seems like, but in my experience, when I used to be a real estate agent, when I used to go into subdivisions that have these small lots, and it's just so congested. Parking is always a problem in those kind of subdivisions. But the small lots, I don't know, for some reason those bother me. But other than that, I mean, I'm all for the subdivision. I think it's a great idea, but it just concerns me as to how, when it's fully developed, how it ends up and how it's maintained.
Well, yeah, so a lot of what we have found is a lot of the new communities. We do a lot on slab, we do some basements. People would rather have a smaller yard with larger open space, and then it has the open space and have like pads or have a park rather than have a half acre lot. You can have that, you're out of township. But we have found for affordability, the smaller 40-foot lots, we do a lot of those, 40 and 50-foot lots. We do a lot of that.
what's the closest neighborhood that you've done around here? And is there any in Fairfield County that you guys have done? Just out of curiosity.
We're finishing in Mythopolis, Wagner's Run. That's Bloom Carroll Schools. We just started one where permits are in right now in Asheville, Taze Valley. We have one in Newark, one in Heath. That's probably the best, the most comparable.
Ms. Flex, do you have anything to say?
I mean, I think it's a good idea. I agree. I'd rather have homes than warehouses. Yeah.
So there'd be a homeowners association.
Yes. property management.
Yeah, Omni's our property management company that maintains it, yes. Maintain the open space, 50 feet from the law.
With regard to your question, I have with regard to the open space, is that all the projected open space going to be accessible to the property owners then as almost like a park, a community park?
Yes, I don't.
Or is a certain percentage of it going to be set aside for flooding and that sort of thing?
I think that Jim on the east, that's pretty severe there, but like the southern part, that's kind of like, I would think they would have, the southern part. When you go north, I'm not sure you can, with that stream, and you could even get back there, but the southern part,
So were you saying there's a possibility that there could be walking paths? I mean, we already have something that's being developed out here off 158. So Baltimore, we're doing a really nice job of integrating our park system. So in this particular case, some type of, I don't know, beautification or walking trails or something.
That's the beauty of going through the PUD zoning process. This is something that we want to hear. And you can incorporate that.
I think that would add to
make it easier sell for us to sell to the people in town. Yeah.
People probably want to know that.
I think we don't want houses on sample size lots is the thing. And I understand you're saying people don't want large yards to care for either. So it's this fine line.
Yeah, in Asheville, we did the first limestone pads on the base and amenities. So we would envision that same, try on the southern part there.
And all those are cared for and maintained by the HOA. So the park space that we don't have to maintain, right? You don't have to do the grass.
Unless you want to.
No.
I wonder what the HOA fees would be on houses like that.
It's not that.
I mean, that's really none of our business, but I'd like to know.
We do a capital contribution of a few $100s, and then it's like a few $100 a year. It's not like, you hear the $300, $400, $500 a month. No, it's when you have that many units, it's not that expensive.
Do you envision individual mailboxes or game boxes? Do you know?
Game boxes.
Yeah.
That seems to be the trend.
Requirement.
Community building, is there a pool here? Like, I didn't know, like, I'm just looking at it thinking a lot of the
pads, maybe like a tot lot, something like that.
Eli or Scott, do you have anything to say? No, you're good. Anyone else?
Mr. Boucher, I've got a question for you. Can we do all that stuff?
We're not going to do too much.
Oh, I didn't see.
I just want to ask.
These guys, I think they'll be fine with that.
Sorry, Tim, I didn't see you back there.
So let's say in a perfect world in 18 months, you got all this stuff. I mean, what would be the timeline on something, all this?
Probably 3 phases, 50 to 60 lots, and then a phase. We usually cycle those every 12 to 18 months. So depending on the economy and what's 4 months of absorption, 2 to 3, just depends on you look at maybe 5-year blowdown.
I'm just curious, yeah. Not to get too specific, we just start north and west and then do the central part of it, or?
Definitely come off from Basil Road, work your southeasterly.
Yeah. That's engineering. How should we phase it with the offsite?
Mr. Keller, do you have anything to say?
Did we lose you?
I hear you.
Let's have. You're not going to speak.
Okay. Anyone else?
Well,
You guys-
you're offering a lot of support.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Informally.
Working with the village people for a year and a half, it's been really pleasing to work with them guys. Very positive, very open. So, engineer, and then working with Mike a lot.
So do we want to plan to have, you on the agenda for planning and zoning in January?
If we can wrap it up.
Let us know.
Okay. Yeah, we'll talk to Molly.
And you're talking on utility capacity tomorrow?
Well, we're talking about a bunch of projects, but this will be part of it, yes.
So how's the sanitary capacity? Is it there? Is it questionable? Is it? Problems I have never ran the floods. When we don't have the II, which is a major problem. That's a major problem.
That's part of the projects we're talking about.
So, stormwater,
Storm sewers and that kind of thing.
Also, one quick side note, since we have our thing, this is your standard, whatever the fire truck is that we. I've done it many times in Wally, places like that. But it creates a nice little area, so that's why I try to incorporate them. So, but I just wanted to show you guys that there's something, a program called Auto Turn. Take your standard size fire truck and then drove it around.
Yeah.
With a block. Yeah, so
That's the part.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah. Cul-de-sac type thing. These are much more efficient and actually have looked really nice. Actually built things, nice little thing. So anyway, I just want to let you know that they're your standard emergency vehicle, largest one.
Good deal.
So,
Thank you.
yep.
I'm learning some of those folks will
It's always a
be
concern.
involved, yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Very much. Appreciate it. Thank
And we will continue with our minutes meeting.
Good. Yeah.
Mayor, I have one door. Like that.
We'll be talking. Okay.
All right. See ya.
I'll talk to you. Oh, no. Just my report. You've all seen it. I would like to mention a couple things besides that. Steve's here. I received an email from Steve about the windows. Windows are looking good. You want to speak about that at all, Steve, or just want me to? Yeah, you said that they look good, and there's a difference in the feel of the inside the.
Yes, I would just like to take this opportunity to thank you all for your support of the ongoing restoration of this building. It's a beautiful historic landmark in town, and the new windows are a huge difference maker for us. You can feel the difference. You can feel the wind in your hair. You can hear the difference. It's much quieter. I'm sure our heating bill will feel the difference as well. So thank you for your investment in phase one, and we eagerly anticipate phase two in 2024. And
Now, what did
Rosalie
they
did a great
do?
job.
I was curious. I thought we were doing the south face of the building. So
Yeah.
which windows did we do with this phase?
We identified our priorities based on which spaces are heated and which ones are not. But when Rosati came in, I believe their prices were lower than we actually anticipated. So with the amount council budgeted for 2024, Rosati told us how many they could do. And then the village and Rosati together identified which ones ended up being phase one. So it is the entire theater space, both downstairs and up in the balcony, which is our heated space, as well as the front lobby entrance area, which was particularly frigid on cold days and particularly hot on sunny days during the summer. And then we did do a couple upstairs, and the rest will have to wait to be part of phase two or phase three, depending on how pricing works out.
So phase two is 2025. We could be working on the next phase spring.
Yes, it did turn out there was considerable lead time for Rosati to fabricate these. They're pretty big windows compared to a typical home. But yes, if we're able to get started this winter with the ordering process, we could be installing by spring.
Pull trigger on.
I will await Brian's green light to set up something. with
It's in the
Rosati.
budget, but it's not, probably won't be.
As soon as the budget's passed, then we can go for it. That'll be in a month. But yeah,
If I'm not mistaken, I think about 3/4 of the windows were already installed. There were many more that were installed than we had.
that's right.
Yeah, it's probably about half. I haven't counted exactly, but there are a lot of windows up on the upper level. So that will add up. But it was, we did more in phase one than I was ever anticipating we would be able to do. And they look great. And the Rosati's crew really did an amazing job. And
Inside and outside, they did okay.
yes.
You should see them there if you haven't.
I haven't gone inside. I
2 days.
Remember, McCreary is going to inspect the outside of the upper level windows.
Oh,
From a ladder.
Right.
I was shocked to see
Ladder
them
or rope?
installing them from a ladder. That was shocking.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Shocking.
Yeah, clearly
2 days, right?
the top floors have to think of a different strategy.
2 days. They knocked it out. And this, like the outside, the finish is really nice, the vinyl.
Yeah.
The inside, the wood grain that they put the vinyl. Is really nice.
And 2 of the installation crew were Baltimore.
Yeah, it's true.
Thank you again. We
Thank
deeply
you.
appreciate this.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Anything else?
The only other thing I wanted to mention was we did get the consumer confidence report reflected on the water bills. It is on the website. So that is something that obviously we're required to do. So that is there. We'll be talking in the future. Mr. Boucher's still here. We did discuss with the school district the possibility of collaborating on a sidewalk project over by the football field, the new street over there. So we'll be bringing that to council at some point for consideration
Done.
as well. It's on
That's all I can plan. Brian B.
I don't have anything else to add to what I talked about earlier.
Mr. Fago.
One new piece of legislation that's already been referred to, it's the temporary annual appropriation ordinance for 2024. And that's all I have.
All right. Council, Finance Committee.
Okay, Mayor, we had our, can you hear me?
Yep, we can now.
Okay, we had our finance meeting tonight. Brian Bibler said that he paid off 4 loans, which is a good thing. But for the year, the finance looking good, and our next meeting will be January the 8th at 6 o'clock.
Thank you. Service Committee.
Service did not meet tonight. I think the next service committee meeting will be on the 22nd January.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Safety Committee.
Yes, Mayor, we did not meet this evening. We will meet though in January. That'll be January 22nd, immediately following service.
Thank you. Rules Committee.
Yes, Mayor, we met earlier this evening. I believe all of council was present. The 2 items that were on the agenda are basically tabled. We did add a couple of new items, and our next meeting is on January the 8th, immediately after the finance committee meeting.
Police Department, please.
Everything's going pretty good. We have all the new people on board. Then Arsdale will start her training next week. And once we get her up to speed, that should put us in a position that we're back to what we would consider full strength with night patrols and the SROs and day shifts.
Okay, thank you. Boswell Joint Fire District, please.
Yeah, the Boswell Joint Fire District met on December the 5th to go over next year's budget, and the district's in pretty good financial shape, but they're going to go up next spring for a levy. I think a 4 mil levy or something. And the next meeting is the 21st at 6 o'clock at 6:10.
Perfect. Thank you. The village committees, planning and zoning, do we have anything from them? And the tree commission? Okay. Records, how are we doing there? Anything new going on with that?
I just got to schedule it, and I can't schedule it till after the first of the year. So I was going to call in the day, but I got busy.
Okay. And we'll add the 2025 bicentennial to that part. For motions, we have the temporary 2023-30, being sponsored by Brandy.
Question on that motion. Backing up just a bit. Do we need, is this when we need to make a motion regarding our meeting in December for the 25th?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. I don't think we've done that yet.
No, it hasn't been. No, it has not been done.
No. That's
You have to cancel the,
yes.
Next meeting.
Okay, do I need to propose that?
Yeah.
Okay,
Sure,
so
why not?
I would like to propose that we cancel the meeting, which is to be held December 25th. So I'm looking to see if there's
And
any.
do I have a second?
One second.
Do we have a discussion on it? Are we sure we don't want to meet?
Yeah, I doubt they have a quorum.
It is the 20th. It's on the.
It is actually.
2 weeks from tonight.
Roll call, please. Roll call, please.
McCreary,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Schaffner,
Yes.
Cosgray.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Okay, then, first reading of ordinance 2023-30, and Brandy is sponsoring.
Yes, Mayor. So ordinance 2023, this is going to be a temporary budget that we are proposing. So I would like to, propose that we pass this budget on an emergency basis
You need to suspend the free reading bill.
and suspend the free reading bill, please. Anybody would like to second?
Do I have a second for suspending the third reading?
I'll second it.
And discussion?
Wait a minute, Mayor, are you
Yes, sir?
talking about ordinance 2023-26?
No,
No,
No, 30.
2023-30.
Oh, okay, 30. I didn't hear you. Okay, 30. Okay, sorry.
Roll call.
McCreary,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
Okay, that passed.
No, that was a motion to suspend.
To
free reading bill.
suspend, yes.
Not a motion to-
Yes.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion to adopt, ordinance 2023-30.
One second.
Do we have discussion? Roll call, please.
McCreary,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Schaffner,
Yes.
Cosgray.
Yes.
Motion passed. Okay, we don't have a second reading. Anything for second reading? We do have third reading, Mr. Cosgray. It's 2023-26.
Right, this is a third reading of ordinance 2023-36, which is the permanent annual appropriations ordinance. And I would like to move to table this ordinance.
Do I have a second?
Just a second.
Discussion, please. Roll call, please.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Schaffner,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Foreman,
Yes.
and McCreary.
Yes.
Okay. we need to have an executive session.
Yeah, I would ask for a motion, for brief executive session after regular business to discuss personnel issues.
Homer makes a motion that, yeah, who would want to include in that? Everyone here or just council?
Yeah, I'm assuming everyone here, Chief, and the mayor-elect? Chief and the mayor-elect? Okay.
Yeah.
And we have the council.
Council.
Okay.
I think Foreman makes a motion that we go into executive session immediately after the meeting, briefly. We won't need to come back into, we can go ahead and, we have to come back into adjourn then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Discussion? Roll call.
Foreman,
Yes.
McCreary,
Yes.
Cosgray,
Yes.
Litz,
Yes.
Schaffner.
Yes.
All right, old business? Anybody have anything else? Do we have any new business? Any more visitors want to speak?
Yeah, I do. The only thing, like we just heard them make that proposal on Sleepy Hollow. I know we've already done talking about that, but I really feel strongly about it. I feel like all of us in this room really got to talk about this because we all sit up there when the county engineers were here. We all agreed that we want to keep our way of living. And I don't want to start the first of the year telling people in Baltimore, hey, we're getting 178 houses in development. I just feel like we really got to be careful how we do that. I hope you all agree with me. I mean, we need this. And after they left, I just keep thinking, I know we have to grow. I just want to make sure we do it the right way. The right way being that the guys that were standing here pay for the road widening and whatever our charges for the water taps, they pay the full price and just like everybody else, because it'd be a good opportunity for us to obviously generate revenue, but man, that's a lot of houses. And that's a lot of people. The people that live on that road have lived there for a long time. I'm not having second thought. I know we have to do this, but I hope you're all in agreement that we are very transparent about all this. Everything that we do with this stuff, we're transparent. Because all the people I talked to this summer, for whatever reason, some of them didn't feel like you are. I feel like you are. I mean, everybody's sitting in this room. It's not like you're getting paid a ton of money to be here, so you're here because you want to be here. But I just feel like we got to be transparent on this is a big thing. I feel like.
Yeah.
So if anything, and I know Debbie, you raised this issue first, and then Randy, you mentioned it also about smaller lot size. It's been planned. Drive through any of the newer developments in Pickerington right now, and you'll see all the lot sizes are so small. Nice big homes, not inexpensive homes by any means, but it just seems like the buyers want smaller lots. They don't want large lots. They don't want to cut the grass purposes and that sort of thing.
People here don't want us to become that.
Right.
But yeah, there's a lot of detached condominiums in Pickerington, which I think is a concept. And I, for one, moved off of a 2-acre lot on that side of town onto a 60-foot wide lot on that side of town, simply because my kids are grown. I don't have the time or desire to take care of a 2-acre lot.
Yeah.
So there are plenty of people in the same category. Yeah. So, and that's a nice demographic to have add to the community. A lot of them probably don't have storage. So
I definitely prefer this over those warehouses that we're seeing on the other end of the county. Those are a shock.
They know they have to put the roads in. They know they have to put the infrastructure. And they know they're going to have to pay tap fees. Now, they might want a negotiation on a tap fee because you're looking at 1 point some million,
go through the development, backdoor park or whatever.
which I could see that.
Yeah, and I, for one, having done development in Baltimore, never got any kind of cuts or breaks or help or assistance. I needed a sewer line. I built the sewer line. I needed something I had to build. I had to pay for every penny. I'm going to be the last person who's going to say, well, we should cut them some slack.
No.
Well,
I'm coming to do 5 houses or 178 houses.
I'm fat.
This is the established part. And you're probably on $11 million rent.
yeah.
We sold before they go up.
They would.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to say anything bad or negative,
No, I think
but I just want to be,
appropriate.
I'm telling you, I want to be as transparent with everybody in this town that we can.
The biggest thing, you know, is infrastructure, making sure that, like I said, the water, you know, distribution system and the wastewater treatment plant system is going to be able to have capacity and be able to be robust enough to expand for growth.
And that's a lot of what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. We'll be talking a lot of things, but most of it's going to come back to just that. And we've all, I remember when one of my first meetings with council, that was something that Mr. Foreman pointed out right away is, you know, these utilities have to be taken care of first.
Because
And
we will have severe growing pains if we don't properly plan.
Well,
Right.
modest growth gives us generate the revenue to fix it. So this is actually a blessing if we
Right.
do it correctly.
And that's all I'm saying is they got to pay. And it's,
And what we're charging is fair. So there's any reason not to pay.
I mean, you put out a number of what, 1.3, 1.4 for infrastructure. So
I thought it seemed absurdly low.
how much do you say?
That's what I'm thinking.
350 to 450. Yeah. They're better.
And they'll sell quick. Let me give this as an example, a little bit different. And for Rich, the expert on this kind of thing, maybe anybody live here, but I think you all know where I live down on Pleasantville Road. All those houses down there, probably median house price 550, 560, somewhere around there, go up. And as I walk through the neighborhood thing, there are very, very few storage kids. Because the people that buy those houses are like, I'll use me for example, they're like me. My kids are grown, you know, I'm done with that. And now I'm going to enjoy life and I'm buying a house. The other thing I'll tell you is my wife's family, a large quantity of her family lives in Pickerington. And everybody that can afford to do it is trying to get out of Pickerington. Once they hit that retirement age, they don't want to be over there. It's becoming very urbanized. You've been to Pickerington, you know what it's like trying to get out of Pickerington. So I think that as far as the school impact, I mean, I'm curious about that also, but I think you're going to see very few storage kids, you know, going to be in this neighborhood.
I was suspicious when he said 2 kids per household because the average woman only have 1.5. I don't know why he thinks this neighborhood would be above average. That would be above average.
Yeah, but even if there was one kid per 179 kids at that schoolhouse, I mean, we definitely got to get them involved at one point and just say, how's this going? But again, it's still, what do you say, 5 years down the road? And I understand that too, but I mean, they're cramped in over at the schoolhouse as far as I'm concerned, at the elementary and at the, so I just want to make sure we all are in agreement that we want to just do it the right way. That's all. And get everybody involved. That's all I had to say.
Executive session.
Well, yes. I want to thank Tammy for being on the council.
I thank you afterwards, but thank you
for doing it.
Well, and I've enjoyed it, and I appreciate everyone giving me the opportunity. It's been fun and interesting. I've learned a lot. I've learned that there's a lot that goes into this, so good luck. It's not just looking at your notes the night before. It's a lot, come prepared and know what's going on. And I have not learned everything. It's going to take a while. So it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it, and I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
Appreciate it.
And I'm going to shut up right now.
And Mr. Ellis, we are going to have a staff pizza party on the 22nd for the staff, and then let them go half an hour or a half day. Don't tell anybody. Half a day early. We're going to do that about 11 o'clock on the 22nd, which is a Friday. And you're all welcome. And then I'm going to swear Mr. Ellis in at noon. So if you want to be here to watch or whatever, we would love to have you.
We'll have the youth ends by then.
See, bit of fun.
We'll
A white one out.
It's creative form.
I think I can pull one down on OML's website.
Okay. Last call, next meeting will be held on.
Well, we
Nope.
can adjourn there.
No, I wasn't going to adjourn. Because then I'm gonna come back in and go, adjourn. Next meeting will be held the second Monday in January 8th at 7 o'clock. Anybody's welcome. And now we need to go into executive session. And can everybody stay?
Yeah, everybody I see. And do you want Tim Belcher in on this?
Sure, I did, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, well, I got to pause. How am I gonna do that? Stop the recording.
Can you leave Chuck in?
Yeah, I
For filling in too.
yes, but I got.
Yeah, you did good.
Wait, it's not over yet. It's not over yet, so.
For some reason, I'm still.
I can't see that. Few more
Wasn't here to say one.
Chuck, are you still there?
Chuck?
Hello, yeah,
Okay.
We're going into executive session.
okay.
Do you need, Chief, do you need Brandy back before?
Yeah, we'll wait for her to come back. It's all right, everybody.
I want to hit. I got to be able to hit the.
You don't want to have a live executive session.
Yeah. Now that would be,
It says live on YouTube.
I know it says live on YouTube,
but we're not.
but that's why I'm trying to get the.
If you go on the live and left and,
No, do you see where it says live right there?
Yeah.
I'm hitting it and nothing's happening. So I'm stopping the video again. This is where up here where I can control.
What's the down arrow on YouTube do? Okay, top. Right hand side. Over the right of the YouTube board. What's that down arrow? No.
Where it says YouTube, there's an arrow, drop down box on YouTube.
Right there.